Hey, my mama raised a soldier. I ain't had shit. Yeah, I'm going bad shit. I'm a part of the madness. Have you niggas hooked? You know I'm spitting that crack, bitch. Red dot beam, have you disappearing like magic? My mama raised a soldier. Why? I ain't had shit. Yeah, I'm going bad shit. I'm a part of the madness. Have you niggas hooked? You know I'm spitting that crack, bitch. Red dot beam, have you
Yo, it's your boy Smokers YT, aka Suckman K Mill, man. We back with another video. I'm not gonna take too much time on this intro. Like and subscribe. Let's get right into this video.
Save on the beat.
The first person we're starting with is Tyrell Terry, the 6'2" guard out of Stanford. Now, Tyrell Terry is probably one of the best shooters in this draft class. He is one of the top 5 guards in this draft class too. I mean, he averaged 14.6 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 44% from the field goal, and 40% from 3. Now, he might go down to the lottery or late in the first round, but his strengths is his 3-point shooting, his finishing, his playmaking ability, but his weaknesses is his defensive versatility, his size and strength, and his explosiveness. Now, I compared him to Seth Curry and a mixture of CJ McCollum. Now, you could probably see the CJ McCollum comparison where the guy who creates his own shot, a very good shooter from 3, and you can see a little bit of Seth Curry in him with the shooting and off the ball shooting. But yo, that's a good comparison. But next up, I have the point guard Cole Anthony. When coming into this draft, he was projected to be the #1 pick, and later on his draft stock fell. And in fact, this man got injured. He's very injury prone, even injured in high school. So Cole Anthony is a guy I would like to have, but low-key want to stay away from because he is injury prone. Now, he averaged 16.1 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 47% from field goal, 45% from 3. Now, his draft projection is the lottery and then the late first round. His draft stock has fell a lot, but his strengths is his shot creating, his ball handling, and his finishing, but his weaknesses is his shot selection, decision making, and he's very injury prone. Now, I compare him to Jamal Murray. Now, Jamal Murray is probably a good comparison for Cole Anthony, a guy who has very good finishing for his size and very elite athleticism, and a guy who can create his own shot and has a very good 3-point percentage. So Jamal Murray is the guy I compared him to. But next up, I have Theo Maledon. Now, Theo Maledon is an interesting guard from France. Now, having a guy like Theo Maledon who can probably have the ball in his hands multiple times to be the playmaker to help guys like Ben Simmons on a pick and roll situation could be very good. Now, he averaged 7.4 points per game, 1.8 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 51% from field goal, 36% from 3. Now, his draft projection is the lottery in the late first round. He is 6'5", but his strengths is his playmaking, his finishing, and his length. But his weaknesses is his fouling, explosiveness, and his strength and weight. Now, I compare him to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. By far, one of the most accurate comparisons I have, you know, given the fact they have the length, they're both playmakers, somebody who has finished in touch at the rim. I love this comparison for me. But next up, we have Kira Lewis Jr., a guy is a long shot of getting now, given the fact this man's draft stock has rose up. This man's potential has skyrocketed. So Kira Lewis is a guy I would look at. So now, he averaged 18.5 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, 5.2 assists, 45% from field goal, and 36% from 3. Now, his draft protection has moved up to the lottery in the late first round, but his strengths is his shot creation, his speed, his ball handling, and his playmaking, but his weaknesses is consistency and his decision making, and his strength and weight. Now, Ja Morant is the perfect comparison. They're playing similarly alike. I'm telling you, if you watch film of those two, they play exactly alike, from the athleticism to the speed to the playmaking. They play alike, but that's a good comparison. But next up, I have Josh Green, the guard from Arizona. Now, Josh Green is a guy I will have us selecting at the 21st pick. Now, Josh Green is an athletic freak. He is the modern day 3-and-D guy we need, and Josh Green is a perfect fit for this team. Now, he he averaged 12 points per game, 4.6 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and 42% from the field goal and 36% from three. Now, his strengths is his three-point, his defense, and athleticism, but his weaknesses is shot creation, his ball handling, and his injuries. But his draft projection, he has went to the lottery to the late first round, but I compared him to none other than Kelly Oubre. Well, no, he does not have the shot creation as Kelly Oubre, and he doesn't have the ball handling skill sets as Kelly Oubre, but Kelly Oubre has the 3-and-D presence, a guy who has athleticism and can shoot the three and play defense, so that's a good comparison. But next up, I have Saddiq Bey, who is probably a very good long shot, maybe going top 10 at least, and then the late lottery. Now, Saddiq Bey is a guy I would gladly like, the guy from Villanova, forward, 6'8". He averaged 16 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and 47% from the field goal, and shot 45% from three. Now that's insane. Now his draft projection is early top 10, and then the lottery. Now his strengths is his three-point. He has a high motor, defensive versatility, but his weakness is his space creation and his explosiveness and his free throw rate. Now I compare him to Jaylen Brown. Now, Saddiq Bey is not as athletic as Jaylen Brown, but you can see with the defensive versatility and the three-point shooting. Now, Jaylen Brown and Saddiq Bey, it may be a good comparison, but that's good. But next up, I have Jamarius Ramsey, is a guy a lot of people wanted in my comments. Now, Jamarius Ramsey is that type of guy who is a three-level scorer. A guy who can do it inside, a guy who can do it outside and the mid-range. Jamarius Ramsey added 15 points per game, 4.0 rebounds, 2.2 assists, 42% from the field goal, and 52% from three. Now, his strengths is his three-point shooting, his size and strength, and his footwork, but his weaknesses is his defense, his free throw shooting, and his consistency. Now, Jamarius Ramsey's draft projection is the late first round and the early second, so we can probably snag him in the second round, but my NBA comparison to Jamarius Ramsey is none other than Alec Burks. Another three-level scorer, Alec Burks, a guy who can create his own shot, very good three-point shooter. Now that's a good comparison. Now next up, I have Aaron Nesmith, is another guy just like the Saddiq Beys, the Kira Lewises. It's probably a long shot of getting, unless we trade up to get a guy like Aaron Nesmith. It's probably going to be hard to get him. Now, Aaron Nesmith averaged 23 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, 0.9 assists, 51% from the field goal, and 40% from three. Now, his draft projection, might go to the top 10, either lottery and low-key the late first round, but his strength is his three-point shooting, his defense, and his shot selection. Well, we're not going to mind how I spelled that, but look, his weakness is ball handling and finishing, his playmaking. But look, Chris Middleton is a guy I compare to. People can say Buddy Hield, but we know Chris Middleton is a very good shooter, a very good guy off the ball, and has very solid defense. Now, Chris Middleton is a good guy I'll compare it to. And next up, I have Desmond Bane, probably low-key is the best shooter in this draft class. Now, my only problem with Desmond Bane is his size and his frame. Now, he dribbles so swole, it's not even funny. But he averaged 16.6 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 45% from field goal, and 44% from three. Now his draft projections is the late first round to the early second round. Now his strengths is his three-point shooting, his defense, and his high motor, but his weaknesses is his length and explosiveness and creating space. Now, my NBA comparison is Eric Gordon. You see Eric Gordon, a guy with a similar type frame, short arms, a very good shooter, and can create his own shot. I mean, Desmond Bane can't do that yet, but he's going to develop that anytime sooner. But next up, we have Malachi Flynn, is another guy I can think we can pick up in the second round instead of picking him at the 21st pick. Now, Malachi Flynn draft projection is the late first round to the early second round. Now, he averaged 17.6 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 5.1 assists, and 44% from the field goal and 37% from three. Now, his strengths is his playmaking and ball handling, pick and roll play, and his IQ, but his weaknesses is his explosiveness and his size and length and his strength. Now, my NBA comparison is Chris Paul. What I mean about these NBA comparisons, I really mean that this is what they play like, not how the career is going to pan out. But you can see that Malachi Flynn models his game after Chris Paul, but that's my comparison. Next up, I have Grant Riller, one of the more complete guys in this NBA draft. You can see by the age and his experience, but he averaged 21.9 points per game, 5.1 rebounds per game, and 3.9 assists, shooting 49% from the field goal and 36.3% from 3. Now his strengths is his shot creation, his ball handling, his 3-level scoring, but his weaknesses is his draft age and passing and pick and roll defense. Now he might go in the late first round to the early second round. Now compared to Fred VanVleet, you can see in the 3-point shooting, knowing his role in the court and being a very good scorer. Now Fred VanVleet's comparison, let's go into the second round, man.
Save on the beat.
Now the first second round target we should target is Cassius Winston, the guard out of Michigan State. Now Cassius Winston is a guy I'm pretty excited about. He averaged 18.6 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 44% from the field goal and 43% from 3. Now his strengths is his pick and roll and his playmaking, his 3-point shooting, and his leadership and his IQ. But his weaknesses is his size, explosiveness, and his lateral quickness. Maybe going in the early second round to the late second round. But I compare him to Kyle Lowry. You can see Kyle Lowry with his leadership, his playmaking, and his very good IQ, and having a damn near similar frame to Kyle Lowry, so that's another comparison I have. But next up I have Nico Mannion, another point guard from Arizona. Now I've been watching Nico Mannion since his high school days. Now Nico Mannion is a complete floor general, a very good passer. Now he averaged 14 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 39% from field goal, and 32% from 3. Now his draft projection is in the late first round to the early second round. We have probably a chance to get him, but his strengths is his playmaking, his shot creation, and his pick and roll play. But his weaknesses is his shot selection and his length and size. Now my NBA comparison is Mike Bibby. Mike Bibby back in his days, a very good passer, a very good shot creator himself, and a very good 3-point shooter. Mike Bibby's the NBA comparison. Next up I have Nate Hinton from Houston. Now Nate Hinton is a guy who takes pride on defense, who hustles hard, a guy we've been missing since James Ennis. Now he averaged 10 points per game, 8.7 rebounds, and 2.0 assists, 41% from the field goal and 43% from 3. Now his draft projections is the early second round to the late second round. Now his strengths, he has a very high motor, very good defense, a very good rebounder, surprisingly, but his weaknesses is his finishing, his shot creation, and his explosiveness. Now my NBA comparison for him is obviously Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, a very good player, has IQ, somebody who takes a lot of pride on defense, and has a very good rebound tendency. So Marcus Smart is a very good comparison I give to him. Now next up I have Mamadi Diakite, who draft stock is falling very hard right now. But Mamadi Diakite is a sleeper in this draft for me. Now Mamadi Diakite draft stock is falling now. He averaging 13.7 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game, 0.6 assists, 47.2 from the field goal, and 36.3% from 3. Now he is falling to the late second round to being undrafted, but his strengths, he's a good rim protector, a very high motor, versatile defender, but his weaknesses is his playmaking, his size, and the turnovers. And I'll compare it to Serge Ibaka, a very good defensive player who has that defensive presence, another guy who can stretch the floor like Mamadi Diakite, and has that high motor. Now these are my second round sleepers: Killian Tilly, Daniel Ochu, Isaiah Joe, Xavier Tillman, Jordan Nora, and Sam Morrell. Now who are y'all guys choosing? Let me know down in the comments. The draft in 3 days. It's Big Boy Smokers YT, and we always out here.
Wait, she cock back and she mop up, so I pop up, rock the socks off. Your bitch be having my cocks off. She was lying by saying the top hard. Now she on the viz, that is not hard. So what you be talking about? What you need, some walk hard?